Hey everyone, I'm Tony Paul from Data Hut. Data Hut is a web scraping company that works with retailers and Amazon sellers, helping them get data for their operations. If you're a founder of a small e-commerce company or a seller on Amazon, and if you run your business on Shopify or any other platform, you know how brutal it is to manually keep track of your competitors' prices. At Data Hut, we talk to a lot of e-commerce companies and the founders who don't have the budget or the technical resources to build a fancy price tracking system. And that actually slows down their progress. That's why today we are showing you how to build a fully automated price tracking workflow using n8n. It's completely free and you can do it within 10 minutes with n8n and Google Sheets and with the help of a little bit of ChatGPT. By the end of this video, you will learn how to build price tracking workflows using n8n and customize it for your own needs. If you need a scalable solution or if you don't want to manage these workflows, you can always contact Data Hut and help you get this data. So let's dive in. So before we start building the automation, let's talk a little bit about our Google Sheet. So the Google Sheet has two sheets. One is the product data and the second one is the price tracking. The product data, what we have is a product URL, product URLs from this page, and the price, the current price, right? So we just manually add it. So this is for comparison, right? In the price tracking sheet, what we have is timestamp. So it gives you when this automation was run. Then it gives you the product URL for which product or what product are we talking about. Then the current price, what product price we extracted now, the last price, then price change. If it's true, it's price changed. Then the price different percentage. So if it's a positive increase, I mean, if the price was increased, it will give you a green signal. And if it's decreased, it will give you a red signal. So you can just do a conditional formatting on this Google Sheet to get this coloring. Okay. So that's about our Google Sheets. And this Google Sheet will serve as the input for our automation. Now let's move on to the automation. So we click create workflow and then we will import a file. So click here and import from file. So this is the same file that you can download from the description of this YouTube video. So just download it and then you will see something like this. So you just need to edit these things to make your automation work. So let's see. So the first thing is schedule trigger mechanism. So which means we schedule this automation session at 8 a.m. every day. So we'll just test the step and we'll understand, okay, this is the date, this is the time. Then day of the week is Monday, year, month, and then the time zone. So there are a lot of other things. So you can just change all these things. We can make it run at specific hours. You can run it in like say 6 hour or 4 hour like a window. So make sure that there is enough time for each automation run to finish, and ideally run this automation every day and never go beyond less than 3 hours. Okay, so this is a schedule trigger. So this is where it starts. Now we'll have to go to this Google Sheets node. So the Google Sheet node is the one we made it here. So we select our Google Sheet and also the list or also the sheet where we have this information, I mean the product information. So in your case, you just click on this and you can choose from the list of sheets, right? And it outputs 3 product URLs like we have here. And what happens is this output will be the input to the next node. Now, as a general rule in web scraping or data extraction, it is always better to process the URLs by giving it some breathing time. And if you don't give that breathing time, it will crash the web scraper of the automation. So this loop over item, and we set the batch size as 1. So it process each record one by one, and then it will write to this sheet. So let's say we have 3 records, it will process the first thing, and then we have something called a wait node. A wait node is a way for the execution to delay the execution by X number of times. So it can be minutes or hours or days. So in the case of web scraping, it's always recommended to use, like, say, 20 or 30-second delay if you can manage. So add that delay. So you can just click it. You can see after the wait amount is 20 seconds. And then we will pass this to an HTTP request. An HTTP request is basically a way for the URL for us to fetch the URL, the product URL, and then go to the web page, and then we will download the HTML content of that web page. That's what we do with the HTTP request node. And if you see here, once this HTTP request node is finished running, it gives instruction to the loop over items node that, hey, I have finished processing the current URL. You can now give me the next URL, right? That's what this do. Okay. Yeah. So here, this is the workflow. I'll explain it again. There is a trigger, that's a schedule trigger. Then there is a Google Sheet node from where we read all the product information. Then the loop over items will process this URLs one at a time. And then there is a wait node that pauses the execution for some time that we set. In this case, we set 20 seconds. And then the HTTP request node will go to the website and fetch the HTML data that we need to get the pricing information. So we run the automation up to this point, and if you look at the output of this HTTP request node, you can see some HTML, some JavaScript, and a lot of gibberish, right? So how do we get the information we need from this gibberish? So that is where the HTML extract function comes into place. So we can use something called a CSS selector to extract information, the precise information that is the price this page. So if you're tracking at different sites, your CSS selector will be different, but there is an easy way to find the CSS selector that we can use. So I'll show you how. Go to the website, then select this, then click inspect. Then you can see something called AI assistants, right? Then you ask AI assistants, get me the CSS selector to extract pricing, which is 17. Yes. So the Chrome AI assistant will get you the information, this, and then you can just start trying it out. And if it doesn't work, you can just try some other times, or you can just copy paste the HTML structure into ChatGPT, and ChatGPT will give you the answer, right? So that's how it works. So for your case, change the CSS selector, and that's it. That will be it. So once we execute this step, what we will get is the current price, which is $9.79. That is in this URL, the third URL. So we got this information, the pricing information, but this is not a number, this is a text. So we need this to get this information into a proper text. That is where we need to use a data cleanup code. So what you see here is a bit of JavaScript code. Don't worry about it. Copy this input, paste it into ChatGPT, and tell ChatGPT that, okay, this is my n8n automation, and this is the information I have. and this is the information I want. You can just make a file like or a record like this. Then ChatGPT will give you this nice JavaScript code. So there is a support for Python as well, but it like I've tested this, but it doesn't really work well because it's in beta mode. So it's better to stick to JavaScript for now. So you can just give ChatGPT the input, and it will give you a nice script that you can run. In my case, this is the JavaScript, and in your case, it will be different. But with a couple of tries, you will get this code, right? That's the output. So you get the product URL, then the row number, the number at which row this product is, the last price, what was the price during the last crawling, and this is the current price. That is the same price, right? Then there is something called a compare and normalize. A compare and normalize function, what it does is that it compares the pricing with the previous pricing and see if there is a price change. And if there is a price change, it will say true. And if there is no price change, it will say false, and it will go to the false price. Right? Then there is another thing that you will see here. In my n8n instance, there is a bug from n8n that adds kind of an unnecessary tab to the output, and this is to fix that tab, and it's nothing else, right? So you can just remove it. In your case, you might not need, so you can just remove it and it will run fine. So now we have reached here where we have a condition, right? So if there is a price change, the true it will connect to a price track sheet where it will write all the pricing and its changes information here, right? And after that, we will again have a wait node. So the reason for this wait node is that if we hit Google Sheets with too many requests in a minute, it will throw an error. That's why we add another wait here. So it is a limitation of Google Sheets, because we write too much, it will give an error. And then we will wait, and then we will update the master file, which is this file where the pricing is changed, right? So what happens if, and there is another thing that happens if it's true, it goes to a format output code section, which basically is a way to format the message that we need to send in Telegram, and it's completely optional. You can just have it updated on the, you can just finish it. But if you want to get an alert on Telegram, you can just have this format for output option here. So just this is all ChatGPT generated code. I haven't written any single line of code. It's all ChatGPT. So just add this and then pass it on to like the Telegram node, and then you will get an alert. And once all the URLs are processed, it will the automation will be finished. So let's test this for now. Okay, let's, for testing, we'll set the pricing here. Okay, then we will change this to 50, then this to 10, and it the 9.7 with 9 will be the same. So when this runs, here we will have a, this will change to 16.99, so it will change to the original price, right? So let's test now. So as expected, the code or the automation ran for some time because we have some delays, the wait nodes, etc. Took some time. So as expected, the prices were changed, and also when we look at here also there is, we can see the visible changes. Only 2 updates are here because the third one we did not change the pricing, and that's it. Under automation is successful, and I also received messages on Telegram. That's it. And there's one item in the false price because there was no price change, and that is pretty much it. So before wrapping it up, I wanted to give you some tips and some other ideas to make it work. So this automation can work at small scales, let's say up to 100 URLs per website, and if your competitor website is not that hard to scrape, this automation will work smoothly. And one of the issues that you might encounter is with this Google Sheets write or Google Sheets read, because a lot of API calls will be made. So one alternative is to have a different option other than Google Sheets, a database, a cloud hosted database, or some other alternative like Airtable or something like that. So that is one thing that you need to do. Then don't like remove this weight node, or don't reduce it so much, because it will break your automation. And the third thing is that there is code node in 4 places, and you can use ChatGPT for apps without absolutely not knowing anything. Like, I don't really know JavaScript, but I made it work, so you can also do this. There is not much like coding knowledge needed, so just paste this to ChatGPT and it will work. Then again, coming to the Telegram node and all those nodes, it's easy to like find how to set up Telegram and Google Sheets in n8, and you can just refer to the documentation, and it is very simple, and you can make it work. So in the coming weeks or days, I will come up with more automation that you can run to improve your pricing and improve your return on ad spend. So give us a thumbs up and give us a like, and if you have some questions, just ask in the comments, and then we will respond as soon as we can. Follow our LinkedIn channel and YouTube channel, so you'll be notified when we publish new content. So thank you. Have a nice day.